So right here I've got a custom keyboard I built a couple years ago. This is a 60%, it's a KBD Fans Tofu Redux. So it's using the KBD Fans Tofu Redux case along with the PCB that is sold with the Tofu. It's got lubed Gateron yellows, the switches are soldered. These are just some knockoff like PBT keycaps I got off AliExpress. But yeah, overall I think it looks really nice, it feels really nice, it sounds pretty nice. I'll do a little bit of that. I'll do a full sound test here in a little bit. So my issue with it is I play a lot of Counter-Strike, and the consensus seems to be that for Counter-Strike and other competitive FPS games, what you really want is a Hall effect keyboard. But a lot of people in sort of the custom keyboard space don't really like Hall effect keyboards because of the sound and the feel. And something special about this keyboard, particularly the case, is that it's compatible with the Wooting PCB for the WIN60 HE. So what a lot of people do is they will buy this case and install a Wooting PCB, and then you just have a Hall effect keyboard in a nice case. I wanted to see if we can push that a little further. Basically, I want to Frankenstein together a best of both worlds Hall effect keyboard that still sounds and feels nice. So what did I do? Off of Amazon, I got this $30 Aula 75 Hall effect keyboard that's marketed towards gamers and everything. It sounds pretty trash. I do actually kind of like the feel of the switches. They're really light, which is I really like that for playing Counter-Strike, and I also like it. Just it makes me feel like I'm typing faster. But yeah, no, it doesn't sound great. I'll do a side-by-side sound test here in a little bit. But basically the plan is we're going to take the PCB out of the Aula 75 and we're going to stick it into this Tofu Redux case. But the final and most important step is going to be swapping out the switches. And I've got something a little bit special. So about 2 months ago, Gateron released these magnetic Orchid switches. And what's special about these is that they say that they prioritize the sound of these switches a whole lot more than their previous Hall effect switches. So we're going to put these into the sort of Frankenstein board with the Aula PCB in the Tofu Redux case to see if we can sort of make a Frankenstein knockoff Wooting that is going to be cheaper and possibly better with a few trade-offs. The reason I say it's better is because we're going to have a much nicer case, and hopefully we're going to have a lot better sound and feel out of the switches that we're going to install. Some of the trade-offs I think that we're probably going to see, the Aula 75 doesn't seem to have fantastic software support, so can't do a ton of customization, but in reality, once you get used to a keyboard layout, you're kind of used to it, and it's not really going to be causing you issues day to day. We're going to get into the sound test of my custom keyboard with the lubed Gateron yellows and the AliExpress PBT keycaps. Alright, let's get started with the conversion of this keyboard. Alright, so the keyboard is done. We've swapped out the PCB, the switches, and then put the original keycaps back on the board. So yeah, we're going to do a sound test here in just a second. Alright, I think overall the project was a success. The keyboard sounds and feels way better than the Aula. The switches definitely still feel light, definitely lighter than the Tofu I had, but they sound way better, and yeah, it's just no comparison between this and the Aula. So yeah, it looks like right now this keyboard case is running about 60 bucks. I got the set of switches for also about 60 bucks. I think these keycaps were maybe 20. And let's see. So all in all, this whole build is probably about 140 bucks compared to a brand new Wooting, which says it's about 175. So we got out a little bit cheaper with a much nicer build quality and, in my opinion, a better sound. Granted, I don't have a Wooting to test against, but from the reviews I've seen online, this definitely sounds way better. But yeah, if you want to try this out, I will link all of the products I used to make this build below. And yeah, thanks for watching.